I think we live. So hello everybody. Thank you for joining me here at Oikos, here in our living room. And I'm hoping there's going to be some of you there today to join me in this live streaming time. It's a bit unusual that it's Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock here in South Africa. But we hope it's not going to be too unusual because we hope to put this in place going forward, as in having a live streaming on a Saturday afternoon at 3, which is what we've been trying to keep to routinely. We hope to do Wednesdays as well, so we can have 2 live streamings in a week. But we were away for 2 Saturdays in a row, so we didn't do live streaming on the Saturday. And then when we did plan to do live streaming, we sat and waited for the storm to go by. At the moment, there's a tractor outside. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear the tractor outside. But we came to do live streaming last Saturday, and the weather, we had wind and storm and lightning and thunder and hail and snow. It just started at 9 in the morning. We kept on thinking it's going to blow over, it's going to be past, but it just didn't stop. So we sat here waiting, and we're all ready like we are today to do some live streaming and to chat to you and answer some questions, but we couldn't even turn the camera on because the power went off and the hail came down. And anyway, that was Saturday. So now I'm actually quite keen for us to do Wednesdays and Saturdays, so that if we can't do one or the other, at least we've got one every week coming to you. That's what we're hoping for, so that you know that we are here to help you on this learning lifestyle journey that you're on. And we're here to answer any questions you might have for this learning lifestyle journey, or any question about anything, because the live streaming is about just having time with you, having some tea. I hope that you've got your tea. Today I haven't got tea, today I've got coffee, but I'm enjoying it. I've already had nearly half the cup while we were waiting to go live. So I hope you are joining me with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And I'm going to now jump straight into some questions that came through last week before our live streaming on Saturday. That didn't happen. That's happening today. I'm going to answer those questions. And you might have noticed that this desk is very busy. And the last time we did live streaming, I sat just in the chair. You can't see it on the set, I don't think, but there's some chairs over there, and that's what I sat in, our lounge chairs. But today, because I've got a whole lot of things to share with you, all on the topic and theme of animals, and the reason being is because the questions that I got. So I hope you have been able to have some time with me now while I actually share with you about this topic of animals, because of the question that I got. And I'm going to share with you all about that. And if you're watching, please wait for me to finish sharing that. And if you've got things to add and comment, please do so. But if you've got specific questions that you're thinking of, while I'm sharing with you about this topic on animals, I would like you to please ask those questions, and then I will look at them and get to them afterwards, after I finish sharing about animals. For now, let me read to you the question that got this all prompted. Let's see. Okay, it says, hi there, do you have any second-hand books available about animals for grades 6 to 8? And then also, what other second-hand books do you have available? And do you have a computer program and writing course for grades 5 to 7? That was one of the questions. You see, there's quite a few things in that question. I can answer some of them immediately and quickly. And that is to say that, no, we don't have any second-hand books to sell through Oikos, because we don't have a second-hand category in Oikos on the online store. And there's a whole lot of reasons for that, but we have done a few videos on that. If you're wanting to find out more about that topic, well, there are videos discussing that. But what excited me about this question was, do you have any animals about books? And that is why I'm surrounded now with animals about books. No, books about animals. It's the wrong way around. So I'm going to start with the books. And then because that was the question, what the question was about. And then I'm going to go from the books, and I'm going to take you on a little journey. One that I'm excited about. Okay, so let's start here. We do have books on animals, because here we have these beautiful Apologia books. And this is called Zoology 1, 2, and 3. And Zoology 1 is all about flying creatures. I'm going to pick up on that a bit later. Zoology 2 is all about swimming creatures, and Zoology 3 is all about land animals. So the question the mom asked, do you have books about animals? The answer is yes, because here we do. We don't just have these beautiful books about the animals, you know, these, what do you call it, academic book or textbook. I don't know what people reference this, knowledge book. But we've also got, I've got them on the side here, we've also got books that accompany those that parents love as well, and that is these workbooks. And you will see this one has got a little badge here in the bottom corner that says Junior. A little notice there for the junior book. And then the other one isn't a junior book, so this one's for children in primary, what sort of age? 6 to 8 or so, and then this one's primary school from 8 or 10 up to 12 years of age about. Now these books, if you want to know more about these books, the workbooks, and how do they work with this, it's all on this video. Jamie, can you put that link for the Apologia video? Because now he's going to put a link down here. And you will be able to, if you're watching it, if you're watching live now at the moment, you'll be able to click and go there. But if you're watching this after the fact on the Oikos homepage, then you'll do the copy paste into your field there and be able to go straight to these books, to the video about these books, because the video actually just explains the story. Gives you more information about who uses what do they do, do I need them, are they essential, and so on. So that's what I can tell you all about the books that we have on animals. And, they are useful. Oops, made a bang there. They are very useful books. People love them. They're well written. They're beautifully put together. They can be, a student can use it totally independently, as in read through this book and work in the workbook if they want to, or they can do it together with a parent. So they are nice books. They're books full of knowledge about flying creatures. They're more than nice, they're wonderful. But because everybody is so concerned about the economy and the price increases and budgeting and everything, I mean, it's a real concern for a lot of parents, for everybody, because things are tough, okay? So because of that, I wanted to just encourage parents to maybe consider their budget a little differently. In that, you can spend 500 Rand or 700 Rand or whatever the prices of this, because I don't have the prices in my head, sorry, but they are all on the website. But let's say a parent got this book on flying creatures and Zoology 1 and the workbook to go with it, and that was going to cost a few hundred Rand. But they could also rather put that money aside and possibly think about this a little differently. As in, what about getting a game about animals? I'm going to show you this one. Now, actually, there's a video. Have you got the video for this one, Jamie? We here at Oikos really like to encourage the opportunity to develop character and spend time in relationship and use every opportunity for growing and spending time in growing memories and also learning beyond the book, if I can put it like that. So this lovely little tin, so beautifully packaged, called Cardline Animals, actually takes, for me, for our experience, what I'm speaking from testimony here, is we would take information that we're perhaps learning from a book and we would apply it in ways that are beyond the book, as in playing a game with the children. So now at the end of the day, you've got two different outcomes. You've got a child that might have just got some knowledge from the book. Hopefully there's some nice activities in here, and hopefully the children or the child or student that was doing this book has actually done some of those activities, because that's really going to enhance the learning experience and the memories. And also, hopefully, there's been time to play a game that is pertaining to animals. So this is why I'm showing you card-line animals. Let me show you another one. There's this one, which is called Agricola Family Edition. Actually, I don't know if we've got a video to show you of that one right now, have we? So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to open it up because it's exciting. So I wanted to show you that in this box, we've got all these little sheep. These are little sheep. I wonder if I can show them like that. Maybe I can show them like that. Are you going to do a little zoom up on that, Jamie? Oh, thanks. See, there's a little packet of sheep, and this is a little packet of wheat and wood. And I think we've got some cows here. See, some little cows. Anyway, let me show you the box like this. Look here. It's full of all these animals, and what each individual does is they've got their little card a board where they then develop their farm and feed their animals, and the animals multiply. And so now they're playing this game together. Either just the children while mom's making dinner, or possibly you're playing it all together on family board game night, or maybe you have more than one family board game night, because we used to just have one and then we had to make it two because everybody was enjoying it so much. So you could there, in that example of Agricola, you could sit and play this game that has got animals in it, and now you're going to be learning all about the different animals. What are you showing them now, Jamie? Something else? No. Okay. Sorry, I got a little distracted there because I thought Jamie was showing me something that I needed to tell you. But what I'm going to stay on the game theme for a little bit, and that is, can we show them this one? Do you have this animals on board? Jamie's got animals on board. He's going to put up the little video for that now for you. And I'm just going to show you a tiny bit of that. But these videos that I'm giving a little snippet tastes of today are actually on the website. So when you've got a moment, you can actually maybe go and watch them with your children. Playing games together as a family is the fact that you get this opportunity to address certain areas of character. For example, you might have a very competitive child that is perhaps taking the competitive spirit a little too far to the point of actually hurting somebody else who's playing. And now this is an opportunity for you to train and teach. So you see what's happened is that the topic of animals, let's learn about animals, has gone from the book into a game where parents are involved, and now you are sitting discussing aspects of developing character, which is more than just the game. So now you just keep enhancing this learning experience, and while you're doing that, you are building lots and lots of memories. But it's not just about the memories and the positiveness that comes from those memories. It's also about all the learning that is taking place without you having to think that you need to sit down and teach a lesson, get the book and teach the lesson and get the answer sheet and mark the work, because that's testing knowledge, really. You actually, instead of spending your time doing that, you're actually spending your time playing a game with the children. I want to show them another game, Jamie. This one, I love it, so cute. Skunk Bingo. Can you show them this one for me? I think he's got a little video. What Jamie's doing is he's taking tiny snippets out of the videos that are on the website and just showing you a little bit of this particular game. You've got this one. We didn't just play games with our own family when our children were growing up. We now still have this going on in Oikos. So you can hear that it is something that is close and dear to our heart. And the reason for is because of the fact that we see so much good coming from it. I mean, what joy it was for me to go into Oikos and see the ladies that labor so hard. They make the books for you and they pack the parcels, and now it's Friday afternoon and they're going to just put tools down and have a time to just play a game together. And they choose this game, which you think is for little children. But these adult women were really enjoying it because it's a lot of fun. It's beautiful components. I know Jamie's just shown you the video, but I just want to actually take them out the box as well because I want to show you the quality of these things is so lovely. It's not just a little piece of paper. It's just really, really well presented. I mean, look, they even went to the trouble of making what looks like a log. This is actually plastic. And you saw on the little bit of video that you pushing the cards on the one side and you see what animals come out the other side. The rest of the whole video explaining it all is on the website. Now I can't get that back in so easily, so I'll just put it down on the floor over here. I'm not sure which other videos you've got to show. Did you have this one? Wrangling rabbits. Yes, Jamie's got wrangling rabbits. Now this is this topic. I must say this game is more about the actual mechanic of the game, and they've made the theme be rabbits. So you're not necessarily going to get a lot of knowledge about rabbits when playing this game. That's the sort of thing you'd pick up from the book, the actual knowledge that you might need. Or we've got the internet now, so I'm sure you as a parent would guide your children where need be with regard to going to the internet to do some study on rabbits, possibly. Are you ready to show the little video? While I was thinking about animals and this whole topic of animals and how I wanted to show you how we're taking it from the books into the games, and then the final step, which I want to show you, is Konos, because you know how passionate I am about Konos. But before I go there, let me show you this. I picked this up because it's biology, and it's a lot in here about animals and life and living creatures and things. And I just had to get this because of the fact that it had photograph of a zebra on the cover, and you know how we like the zebra theme for our live streaming. There's our Zach sitting over there in the corner. Oh, I can't show you properly. There he is. And this photograph was taken here at our home on Mbona in the Karkloof in KwaZulu-Natal. And when Dr Jay Wile, who's the author of the Apologia books, when he was here visiting, he took this photograph and put it on the cover of the biology book. I was very pleased about that. So I like to show people our zebra on the cover of the biology book. And you might also just see behind me there some other games, animal games. The one is called My Happy Farm. Is that right, Jamie? My Happy Farm. And that for those of you who are farmers and have families raising your children on a farm, you all know about feeding the animals, making sure the animals are well cared for. But what about those of you who are not living on a farm? Well, then we have a game called My Happy Farm. In fact, even the farmers like that game. I've had some families that are farming that have bought that game because they like the fact that it's just bringing this responsibility of the animals. It's making it fun by playing a tabletop game with it. And it's, again, just beautiful content inside. I'm not going to go there and fetch it, but you can see it there in the background. And then there's elephant's trunk, which I put that box behind me there next to the elephant ornament that we have on the mantelpiece there. And that is a fun little children's game about travel, actually packing, getting ready to go on a journey. And again, there's a video about that. So let me take you now from the books to playing games to the final one that I love so much. And that is Konos, and give you an idea of how this all fits together. But I also grabbed this book, Big Red, because this is a story about a dog. So it's animals again. So you can actually be reading aloud to your children on the topic of animals. And they can be working on their own from this workbook. And you can be playing a family game together as a whole family or just the children. But most importantly, this is most importantly always to Oikos, because of the fact that Konos is the heartbeat. next to our Bible study and spending time in the Word. Because let me just use this manual as and share with you a little bit about how this whole theme of animals would happen in a Konos living lifestyle kind of way. Let's take flying creatures. I mean, it's right here on the top. Flying creatures. In Konos Volume 1, you've got a unit called Attentiveness, and you're now going to be training your children in attentiveness. So there's a section on birds. And the section on birds isn't going to be beautifully colored, beautiful color pictures, because this entire manual is just this. It's black and white text for you as a parent to read to your children. You read these activities and then you decide which ones you're going to do. This is what this whole book, and so parents feel overwhelmed by this book and they're not sure which activities to pick, and they would prefer it if they knew that on Monday we're doing this and Tuesday we're doing that. But this isn't what Konos is about. And we have done a workshop, actually, on Konos, which is also on the website. Jamie, would you mind putting the workshop link there too for me? To show you that if you are interested to know more about how to choose which Konos volume, how to bring it into your daily living, how do you have time for it, and all those questions that people have, it's all well covered in the workshop. I think the workshop in total is, I'm going to be guessing now if I tell you, probably an hour and a half or so, but it's a lot of short clips, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 3 minutes, like that. So if you can please have time to go and watch the Konos workshop, then you will get a deeper understanding and awareness of why we're so passionate about Konos and why it just forms such a great part of our learning at home lifestyle. So to get back to the birds, in Konos, there's a unit called Attentiveness, and under Attentiveness, there's a section, a topic called birds. Now, with that topic, as I said, you're not going to see lovely colored pictures. You're going to have activity suggestions, like get your children to find any sort of tool that will depict a bird's beak. So a bird that cracks nuts. So, of course, what did Jamie come running back from the garage with? A pair of pliers, because he knows that those crack nuts. And so we had pliers and tongs and straws for birds that suck nectar out of the flowers. We had all of these different actual household items on the table to discuss birds, and this was teaching us to be attentive. So the reason why we were doing this study or this learning about birds and their beaks, and we got feathers and we looked at them under a microscope, and while we were doing all of this, we did not have a book to refer to. We were just doing activities out of Konos manual. Now, it is tempting, and parents might be more inclined to take the book out and have the student read the book because they maybe feel more comfortable that, or more secure that the students, the children are actually getting an education because they're studying knowledge. And it's not going to take the same time from the parent as if they're going to do these activities I'm talking about that Konos asks of them. However, as I have mentioned in the Konos workshop, if you see the time that it takes to direct your child in the book that they need to do, the lesson that they need to do and the work, but maybe you've got a very studious little child and they're just going from one lesson to the next and mom's not terribly involved. Well, that's not great either if you think about it. When you're missing the opportunity to be involved if you could be. But let's say it's taking no time of you at all and that's what suits you and that's why this is helpful to you. Well, then that is a useful tool. This, however, and then there's a certain outcome from that. This, however, is going to have a different kind of outcome because there's a few ways you can go about it. Let me stick with the bird. You could actually have just read that one page and those few activities. It's not going to take you long, a few minutes. And you can say to your children, right, today, these are the activities I want you to focus on. And we will talk about it at lunchtime or when Dad gets home or when we're having dinner, whatever it might be. So you're not actually yourself spending the time doing it. You're just directing your children in play almost. It's like directed play. And then they've got to think and they've got to go and collect the things that are required and maybe make a paper mache bird, and now they've got to find out how to do paper mache. And all these activities are suggested here in the Konos manual. And you can be very involved and be part of all the activities with them, or you can be partially involved or hardly involved at all, because perhaps you are running a business from home, and I spoke about the economic crisis earlier, and maybe you need to be being a good steward, and you need to be responsible for the funding and bringing in the funds to support your family, to even be able to buy resources and buy a game for them, for example. So it might be that your time is limited. I don't think that if a parent's time is limited means that they should put cognizance aside with the reason being, I don't have time. Because let me tell you what happened a couple of weeks ago. You might have seen the video of Kathy and myself when we were doing live streaming a few weeks back, Kathy LaCordia. Well, when we had finished live streaming, we went to prepare a meal together because our families were spending the weekend together. And I showed Kathy about some seed crackers that I had made that a mom from a mom's tea had shared with me. She shared with me about these seed crackers she made, raw seeds. If you're interested in that, let me know. I'll send you the recipe. Okay, so I was showing Kathy this and showing her a few things, and she said to me, I know you don't mind me doing this, Kathy. I know Kathy well enough for me to be able to do this without getting her blessing or permission. But she said to me, well, I would do that, but I don't have time. So I said to her, you can't say that. Don't say you don't have time, because if you know that this is going to be good from a budgeting point of view and a health point of view, why wouldn't you make the time for it and give something else up and make time for it? So we had a little chat about that. And then she phoned me a few days ago and she said, I just want you to know that I have made my own yogurt and I have been, and so it was we had a little chuckle because of the fact that she agreed wholeheartedly that we need to actually make time for these things and not just brush it off with, we don't have time. We need to see what is the value, where do we want to be putting our attention and our time. And sadly, a lot of people are finding that their reason for not getting to Konos is a time thing. I don't have time to do it, is what I'm hearing. But what I'm encouraging you with today is to say, make time or realize that your time can be 5 minutes. Because the objective is not so much that you have to sit and do all the activities with the children, but the objective is that you are focusing on attentiveness. So now you have this opportunity to stay on attentiveness so you can ask the children, are you being attentive? Oh my goodness, look at that. I can see how attentive you were to that detail. And this is after when they now sharing with you about what they have discovered from the activities that they've done. And they're showing you things. And so when you were busy with what you needed to be busy with regard to running your business or needing to clean the house or whatever it might be that your responsibilities are, your children were busy doing Konos activities. That's what they were doing. And you were all as a family focusing on the character trait that you were wanting to encourage and grow and develop in your children. I don't know how that can happen here. That's the thing. That's why I'm so passionate about this, you see, because here the children are learning and the activities, but I don't know how this can have the fruit of developing character. I haven't figured out how people can do that or if they do that, but I do know that this is what this is all about. I know that when you take a character trait, attentiveness, obedience, responsibility, and you focus on that, then that is what this becomes. It's the activities you're doing is because of the molding and developing and training of character. And the knowledge that's gained is like a byproduct of the character development. What just came to mind now was I said responsibility a few times, and I thought about one of the Konos manuals has got responsibility in it, and there's a whole section on pet care. So I'm going back to sticking with the animal theme, because now there's a whole section there on how to be responsible and care for the pets, living creatures that we have in our home. So let's say you were doing flying creatures and you've got a child that's really passionate about birds and just so interested. So now he gets himself a bird. You get him a bird. But now he's got to clean the cage. But now you're having to say, have you cleaned the cage? Have you cleaned the bird's cage? When you're going to clean the cage needs to be cleaned. And you're finding yourself repeating yourself and trying to help your child to be responsible for the care of the birds, this living creature. So, sorry, I need a little sip of my coffee. We go to Konos, and Konos has a whole section on pet care and how to teach your children about responsibility. And what I got from that is we set a day or afternoon a week, I remember it clearly, it was Thursday afternoons from 3 o'clock was pet care time. And so whatever pets we had at the time, it was the children's responsibility to now go and care for the houses of the pets. So they were learning then, when they were little children, about being responsible and being good stewards and being able to care for things that have been entrusted to their care and to do it well and to keep the little hamster or guinea pig or bird or whatever, fish tank, keep it in order and keep it clean and keep it good. And it's in a way that that animal will not suffer because you haven't taken good care of it. Now, all of that, as myself as a parent, I got so much support and help from Konos, helping me with the activities and the direction to give to my children to keep them constantly actively involved in activities that were training their characters all the time. Even though they were doing things that weren't necessarily, like you could say, what has cleaning a cage got to do with training a character? Well, it was about responsibility. That was the main theme. But think of all the other things that were happening while they were cleaning that bird cage. Because now they're fascinated about birds. So now they're going to learn more about birds and you're going to play games together and you're going to do activities together. So you see, what I'm here for is to encourage you to get to this. Encourage you to get to the fun and the activities and the growing, because our experience is this: playing games takes us this far, books takes us this far. Konos living just was so wonderfully valuable, so great. So we received so much from it. The fact that we could be so focused on character development, I today am a very, very blessed woman, because I can see the fruit, the results of this, having had this intentional training and time on training character. So I hope that I can encourage you today, anyone who's watching me and anyone who's watching after the fact, I hope you'll be encouraged to not have time for Konos, but to rather make time, intentional time, to spend doing activities with your children or directing them in the activities that will help mold and train their characters. Because when they're adults, that's what's going to make the difference. I'm so convinced of it. I'm so completely convinced of it that when they are heading into adult life, they can have an enormous amount of head knowledge. I don't know how that's going to help them if they don't have the character to be able to fulfill what it is they need to fulfill in life, whether it's going to university and being good stewards of their time, stewardship from Konos, whether it's being responsible in the way that they manage and handle their life, responsibility from Konos. Now, these characteristics would have happened, they happen anyway, just in parenting, because you teach your children to be patient and to be attentive and be obedient. But why I keep coming back to this is because it's so intentional and it's so deep. It's like you dive deep to fulfill and to have the opportunities and the experiences and the practicing character training. That's what it was for us. And so I hope you're going to get the blessing from it and the value from it as well. And it doesn't sit on your shelf because you don't have time. Okay. I'm now going to come across here to see, Jamie, did you send me the link about the people that are on? I'm going to go to the link that Jamie sent, because I haven't gone there yet. So thank you for being with me all this time. I'm now going to go and see if there's any questions there and see who's been joining me here today. Let me have a look. Tracy. Hello, Tracy. Thank you for being there. Oh, now Jamie said there's something going on here. There we go. My sound. Turn it off. Okay. Right. My sound was coming off my computer. So Mariana, thank you ladies for joining me, and B. Okay, now these are all the links I think you were sending, Jamie. All these things that I see, and Shirley's there. Sorry I'm late, but lovely to see you again. Oh, Shirley, you know I love it when you join me, Shirley. It's always a support, so thank you for being there. I don't mind that you're late. Let me see, maybe you just came on. But you can go back and see what I was sharing earlier on if you missed that, because you know it's going to be on the home page. Okay, so now I'm just going to see if anybody's got any questions that came up while I was sharing about these games and these books. I never know whether to go to the top or to the bottom. Oh, okay, I seem to be doing some strange things there, so I'm just going to... Sorry? Oh, so there's Shirley is the most recent person to have added something here. That's what Jamie's telling me. No questions, actually. Nobody's asking questions on today's live streaming. But thank you for joining me anyway. If you have a question, now's the time to ask. There might be a question you have, or there could also be a question that you've heard, that you've heard during the week, or sometime that you've heard people talking about and you're just curious or wondering about that, what the answer is to something. So ask me, because here I am to answer you. I'm just clearing up a bit here because it looks a little chaotic with all these books and games everywhere. Nice though, nice to have lots of games everywhere. This little game I didn't even talk to you about, Shiba Inu House. It's a little puzzle game, this actually. What do you call this? Well, would we call it a puzzle? I'm not sure if we call it a puzzle. I'll show you quickly. Have you got the video of this one on the website? You put these patterns together. You've got to match patterns, basically. That's what it's like. Oh, it says the live streaming was interrupted. My feed here says live streaming is interrupted. I don't know, maybe they're there, maybe they're not. Refresh the page. There we go. All right, this is like a pattern matching little game. It's cute. About a little doggy. So you can watch the video of that. I think Jamie's going to put a link to that video if you are interested in knowing more. I suppose you might also be wondering why I spend so much time focusing on games. And I could say just because we're very passionate about it, because that's actually the top reason. And we're passionate about sharing that with families because we know how valuable it is. The other reason, the second reason, following along behind that one, is the fact that we have discovered that because of the financial restraints that people are experiencing, they tend to only get the knowledge-based books because I think they feel safe that if I get this book, at least I know my child's learning something. And maybe the game is considered like a privilege. And so I'm trying to encourage parents to actually go with the game and not the book, because it doesn't make financial sense even with an Oikos to say that. But it's because of the value of it, as I hope that I've expressed in this live streaming today. I hope I've shared with you and let you know why it is that I feel so strongly about sharing the value of family games with you, because so few people, it says here this live streaming has ended now. This is what my thing, and it's doing all funny things. I don't like this, whatever it's doing. It's gone to something else. I'm going to close it now. I closed my computer now. Do you have the live streaming? Is it there? This went to other stuff. Yeah, you will see we've done videos for the games on the website, but the other thing is that very few actually get these games. It's few and far between. So the question at the moment is, do we continue with these games? Do we continue providing them in Oikos, or should we just tell you and encourage you to get them and find them wherever you can? Because it is something that we might have to discontinue. That would be sad. We don't want that to happen. So I'm doing everything I can to try and encourage families to actually invest in this. Is it now stopped again? ladies that are there, thank you for hanging in there with me, but it seems like our live streaming is coming and going. It shows that to me on this side. Jamie, when I've seen it going off, Jamie said it hasn't been going off, so we're not too sure what's happening. We are just testing and trying, and we'll put it on the homepage when we've finished and clean it up best we can. So I think what I'm going to have to do is say goodbye to you all and let you know that I am going to be doing another live streaming on Saturday, and Saturday's live streaming is going to need to be about money matters, because we have to do an increase, sadly, and we also want to tell you about our sale category. That's good news, and we just got some things to share with you. Sorry? For this live streaming, I'm not going to go there again. Oh, Jamie wants me to have a look at the link because he said some of you are there on live stream. Let me go to the link again. For some reason just now, the live streaming just went crazy here on my laptop, and it was doing all sorts of funny things and jumping all over and going to other stuff. So I thought, no, let me not keep that going. Okay. Oh, let's have a look. Thank you, Shirley. Shirley says, Konos really bonded us as a family, and believe my girls are who they are because of the Konos guiding us to focus on Christ and on character. 100% amen on that. That's exactly what our experience was. And Shirley, you also say that you couldn't agree more with what's been said about Konos. We have so many precious memories all linked to Konos, but no precious memories linked to other things. You know how often I've heard that being spoken, Shirley, that people don't share with me fond memories they've had from their academic learning. Oh no, maybe I mustn't say that so categorically. There could be those that have just absolutely thrived on their maths book, for example. There are those. No, I can't say could be. There certainly are those people that absolutely love those more academic kind of learning. But I'm not throwing academics out, as you know. We've got Maths UC and Science and Lateral on the website for people to keep the formal in place. That definitely needs to be there for teaching children numeracy and literacy. It's just that I am hearing too much that people are not getting to the other. They're only doing that, and then there's no time for the other. And I'm saying, well, please make time for the other, even if you've got to take 5 minutes to read some activities and direct your children with that for the day. Please make time for the other. It's really, really worth it. Really, really worth it. I mean, I just feel if I did live streaming twice a week to just keep encouraging moms to spend time in doing these extras that look like you don't have time for. If I could just encourage you to do that, to actually give up something else if you must, for the sake of playing games with your children or doing some Konos activities or going for a walk with them or something other than the reason being I can't because I don't have time. Because your time will be over one day, and your children will be grown up and adults, and then you don't have these precious moments anymore. So embrace them and use every minute of them that you can. I'm sure you're going to be agreeing with me on that one again, Shirley, because I know your lovely daughters are adult women now, and so your Konos days and doing Konos activities time is behind you. That's why I'm here encouraging moms that it is in front of them to actually seize it and take the full benefit from it that it's got to offer. Okay, so I'm going to see you on Saturday at 3 p.m. Let's hope we don't have weather and other things stopping us from being here. But I hope to see you then. As I said, I'm going to be talking about money matters on Saturday because we have things that we need to discuss regarding price increases and those sorts of topics. So today was a fun day about books and games and especially Konos. Thank you, ladies, for being there with me, and thank you for joining me. It was so lovely to have this time with you, and I hope you'll be there again with me on Saturday. Thank you. And for those of you who are watching after the fact, as in watching this video when we had finished live streaming and it's on the homepage, I thank you too for watching and for joining in and being with us. Bye for now.